Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where we break down the best novels every day, new videos every day, packed with actionable advice, expert insights, and motivation to keep you going. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Let's jump right in. The shock he received was so intense that it made him consider leaving far behind the village of Aljassasa. He had, with his own hands, brought poison to his mother when she asked him to fetch her some water. Although he was unaware of the poison in that jar, he could never forgive himself for being the cause of her death. I no longer feel the desire to stay here. Everything reminds me of my mother in this area. What do you want to do? I don't know. All I know is that I want to hug you, he said, then added, Can I hug you, Taj? Or are you angry with me because I attacked you and was the cause of my mother's death? Of course, you didn't mean it, you poor thing. She then opened her arms to him and said, Come to your grandmother. I feel like my heart is tearing apart. I feel so sad, she whispered in his ear with an optimistic tone while embracing him. No matter how great your sorrows are, remember that everything will pass. He wasn't confident about the words he was hearing from his grandmother now. Due to his profound sadness, he felt that this grief would accompany him throughout his life. Taj read what he was thinking and said, Trust me, everything will pass. You just have to hold on for a while. Fight to stand no matter how much the earth shakes beneath your feet. But I feel like falling. These memories will keep dragging me down every time I try to rise. These memories will put my head in a bag of flour every time I want to breathe. I don't know what to do. She looked at him and said, Don't fall. That's what you must do, then added, Because when you fall, everyone will rush towards you. Not to help you up, but to stand over your corpse and become taller. You don't know how dirty people become when they see a broken person, boy. That's why keep your sorrows to yourself, and fall standing if you must fall. He nodded his head in understanding and obedience. Are you insisting on leaving now? She asked, then added, I can give you the potion of forgetfulness again if you want. I don't want the elephant's tusk to fade from my memory, he replied. Something inside her smiled when she heard his answer, and she said, The wreath will be useful if you take it with you. True, I had completely forgotten about it, he said, remembering. Where is it, by the way? And then the wreath appeared on his head from behind the castle gate. He must leave quickly if he wants to help himself forget the pain and shake off the dust of sorrow from the shelves of his memory. There was a great desire for revenge inside him, to the extent that it might drive him to burn the whole world, because one from this world dared to kill his mother. He now has no specific place to go, but he will let the days lead him to where he should be. Taj said, You need friends to help you in your upcoming mission, and added with concern, You are always exposed to betrayal and treachery. Everything in this world may fail you, but the only thing you can turn your back on, and be assured that it won't stab you, is friends. And how do I find them? Don't worry, calamities will drive them to you. The friends you meet in difficult circumstances are the friends who stay with you till the end of the road, she said, then looked into her grandson's eyes and continued, And beware of falling in love. For the only person who deserved your love has died. Do you understand? I understand. Don't let love deceive you. No matter how attractive and shiny it seems at the beginning, your end will have begun the moment love breathes inside you. Then she added, grabbing his sensitive organ with her hand, and said, Tomorrow, this worm between your thighs will wake up, and you will have instincts and desires like the rest of the men, making you writhe in your bed feverishly like someone with epilepsy. Take your need from women, then discard them far from you, and never look back at them. And she didn't release his sensitive organ until he confirmed that he would do everything she asked of him. He carried the wreath and placed it on his shoulder, looked towards his grandmother, and said, We will leave now. Asif, said Taj. Your name will be Asif. Asif? He repeated in a questioning tone. She justified her choice of name. Since ancient times, the organization of the nightmare has been extending its roots in the lands of the kingdom of Ababil, and no one has been able to stop or confront them. You are the person who will storm them, uproot them from the soil of this country, and set things right again. Therefore, your name will be Asif. The wreath moved its wings over his shoulder and was able to rise a few meters above the ground and repeated, Asif, Asif. He has started to speak. Did you hear him? He said Asif, and before he left the forest, Taj told him something that would help him in his revenge. There is a fairy named Kizran. She alone will help you triumph over the elephant's tusk. A fairy named Kizran? Taj reached her hand to her neck, pulled out a necklace she had been hiding all the time under her clothes. Asif looked at her, not knowing what that necklace meant or why his grandmother revealed it at that particular moment. It was made of a delicate golden chain ending with an irregular stone plate engraved with the word Emperors of Ababil. oil. What is this? He asked curiously. She said as she approached him and hung the necklace around his neck. This is the necklace of the emperors, and only a member of the family wears it. And as soon as Taj finished hanging the necklace around his neck, a yellow glow emanated from its letters, which didn't last long before it faded. Why are you giving it to me? This will help you meet Kizran. And how will I find her? Don't worry, she will find you. But when you become a man, I have turned 18. Am I not a man? Manhood is not about age. And that was the last thing his grandmother said to him before he and the wreath departed from her. Asif set off with the wreath to search for friends who would be his allies in the coming days to help him take revenge on the elephant's tusk when he succeeds in finding it. Meanwhile, Tara emerged from where she was hiding behind one of the trees, approached slowly crawling until she stopped right next to Taj and asked, "Why didn't you tell him that the elephant's tusk is himself the tyrant king of the kingdom of Ababil? If I had told him that, he would have searched for the king's palace directly and attacked, but he is still much weaker than challenging the elephant's tusk alone. He needs to mature a bit and become ready. The minister Kizran will guide him when the time comes to the only way he can take his revenge and restore the throne of the kingdom of Ababil to his grandfather Jabbar." Perhaps you are right in that. I feel afraid for him. Do you think he will survive? I have thrown him into the midst of hell, and he will need a lot of luck to survive. The two were silent for a while. Then Tara asked with unexpected boldness, "Won't you be sad if he actually manages to kill the elephant's tusk?" Without looking at Tara, Taj answered that question. "The elephant's tusk has not been my brother since the moment he betrayed my husband Jabbar and took the throne treacherously." A moment of silence extended between them until Taj cut it with a bold counter-question. "It's your turn to answer honestly, Tara. You know I don't say anything but the truth. I know you don't lie. Ask then, why did you go to visit Jumana on the night she died?" She didn't answer her and crawled away. "Don't turn your back on me, Tara. Answer my question. What was the thing that drove you to go to Jumana's house on the night she died?" She continued crawling towards the forest. "I can't tell you. And why can't you? Because I don't lie, and the truth will never please you." Tara is the only person who knew the remaining part of the truth, that small part that no one else in the world knew, which is that Jumana had drunk from that brown water jar, knowing it was a jar of poisoned water. Asif crossed the borders of the dark forest and then the borders of the village of Jasasa. He didn't know which path to take, yet he continued walking westward with Iklil for a very long time until the sun began to set in the sky. The two of them started to feel hungry and thirsty. "Iklil, look over there," Asif said, pointing into the distance. "It's a caravan." There was a long trade caravan with many massive elephants, some carrying large boxes, while others bore young girls and boys huddled together in huge howdahs. They were being transported to the slave market. The caravan raised many colorful banners inscribed with "Trade of Shabandar Adnan" as it moved forward, surrounded by servants who ensured the comfort and service of the traveling merchants. It was also guarded by hired soldiers to protect the goods from the greed of thieves and bandits. "I can smell something delicious coming from those big boxes," Asif said, then added, "There must be a lot of tasty food in there, right?" "Iklil hungry," Iklil said in a pleading tone. "Hungry," Asif corrected, then added, "Let's sneak over there, take whatever food we want, and run away before anyone sees us." The setting sun might have helped Asif and Iklil avoid drawing attention as they sneaked to the back of the caravan and into one of the tightly secured food supply boxes on the back of an elephant. If they had looked back while sneaking into that food supply box, they might have seen a mouse with a relatively long beard, resembling a goat's beard, that had been following them since they crossed the borders of the village of Jasasa. The two filled their stomachs with food. "As I expected, the food here is delicious," Asif said, feeling stuffed. "Delicious," Iklil said, burping. Another voice spoke from inside the box. "Did you leave the village of Jasasa just to fill your stomach with food?" "Who's there?" Asif asked, surprised. "A mouse," Iklil said, looking toward a specific point in the darkness of the box. "A mouse is up your butt, you orange bird." "I'm not a mouse, I'm the sage." Since the box was dark inside, Asif couldn't see the third person speaking to them, so he asked in astonishment, "What sage?" "The sage who helped you on the rainy night." "Stop lying." "I'm not lying. I'm the sage, but your grandmother turned me into a mouse." "And why would she do that?" "Your grandmother is a deviant woman. She came to my house at night to seduce me, but when I told her I didn't feel the same way, she got angry and turned me into a mouse." The sage paused for a moment, then added, "Frivolous women, Liar, Iqlal said, as if he could smell the lie in his words. I'm not a liar, the sage retorted, then continued, looking toward Iqlal. Do you know who the liar is? It's Taj. She lied to you when she told you that you were a phoenix chick, while in reality, you're just a stupid talking orange. Enough, both of you, Asif said, then added, why did you follow me here? I want you to help me. With what? To turn me back into what I was before. How? You're a hybrid creature, and you must know how to do it. I don't know how to undo spells. Take me back to your grandmother and ask her to do it. Asif thought for a moment. And what do I get in return? I knew you were foolish and reckless, but I didn't know you were also a blackmailer. Don't change the subject. What do I get in return? I'll grant you a wish. What do you say? If you could grant wishes, you'd have undone the spell on yourself. Curse you, you blackmailer. Tell me what you want. Asif hesitated for a moment before revealing.